This is the trailer the season desperately needed, because for the first time in a while, The Boys does not feel like it is stalling or circling around the same ideas. It feels like it is about to explode. Episode 6 looks like the chapter where the V-race finally turns violent. Bombsite steps out of the shadows, Soldier Boy starts losing patience, and Homelander may be one step away from becoming something truly unstoppable. Hey, what's up everyone? Come back to Breakdown Epic. Just to let you know, this video will contain spoilers. Now, I am going to be honest. After the last couple of episodes, a lot of people were starting to get nervous about the pacing of this final season. There were good character moments, sure, but the story did not feel like it was pushing hard enough for a show that only has a few episodes left. This trailer changes that completely. In my opinion, this looks like the first real endgame episode of the season. The opening immediately tells you that Butcher's side is moving with urgency.
Butcher, MM, and Kimiko running through the night is not the kind of image you put in a trailer if the episode is mainly about setup. That says action. That says pursuit. That says somebody finally has a location and everyone is racing toward it. And that somebody has to be Bombsite. At this point, the V1 storyline cannot sit in the background anymore. Both sides know who has it, both sides know what it means, so episode 6 has to be the moment the chase becomes direct. Whoever gets to Bombsite first controls the shape of the final 2 episodes. That is what makes this trailer so exciting. If Homelander gets V1, then the virus loses almost all of its value against him, and the entire balance of power shifts instantly. But if Butcher gets there first, then he has the chance to destroy it, or at least keep enough back to save Starlight and Kimiko like he hinted he might. Either outcome pushes the story into a much darker place. Now, there is one line in this trailer that I do not trust at all, and that is Hughie telling Starlight that she is not going to die. Whenever a show says something that directly, I start getting worried. In my personal opinion, that line is there to make the audience feel safe right before something terrible happens. Maybe it's not Annie, maybe it's someone around her, but I would be very surprised if episode 6 gets through that setup without a major casualty or at least a major fake-out.
Then we cut to Vought, and this is where things get ugly in a very different way. Homelander and Sister Sage appear to be looking at the aftermath of another failed test, and I think this is directly tied to the unstable V1 experiment Homelander forced the scientists to begin. He wanted them to stop everything else and focus completely on recreating V1. He pushed them to skip normal testing stages, and now it looks like human beings are paying for that desperation. That is important because it tells us Homelander still does not have a safe backup plan. He cannot simply build his own immortality inside Vought Tower. He needs the real V1 from Bombsite. That makes his side of the race even more frantic and honestly even more dangerous because the more desperate Homelander becomes, the more reckless he gets. Now let's talk about the parking lot sequence because this looks like the core of the episode. Butcher, Frenchie, MM, Kimiko, and that older woman in the wheelchair all seem to be part of a setup designed to pull Bombsite out. And I think this is a smart twist. Instead of chasing him blindly, they're forcing him to come to them. The question is who exactly this woman is. My best guess is that she is someone from Bombsite's original life, maybe a daughter who aged while he stayed young because of V1, maybe an old lover, maybe the last person who still connects him to the world before he became what he is now.
Whatever the relationship is, it matters enough for Butcher to use it as leverage. And based on the trailer, it works. We finally see Bombsite stepping out of the darkness and approaching them. And the energy of that shot is perfect. He does not look scared. He does not look hesitant. He looks like someone who knows exactly how powerful he is. That confidence alone tells you this is not going to be a simple handover. There's also a fight beat where Butcher looks genuinely thrown off by what he is dealing with. It almost feels like there is some force or resistance preventing him from landing cleanly. That could mean Bombsite's powers are not just destructive. He may have a defensive edge too, or some kind of explosive field around him. Either way, I think the show is telling us he is not just another soup. He is a serious problem. Then we get the shot everyone is going to be talking about. Soldier Boy punching Homelander. That does not feel like strategy. It feels personal. And my guess is that the missing piece here is Stormfront. Both of these men have history tied to her in very different ways. If that old connection finally comes out into the open, then I can absolutely see Soldier Boy reacting with pure violence. He is not exactly the kind of man who processes emotional discomfort through conversation.
Do I think this means he has fully switched sides yet? No, not necessarily. I think at this point, Soldier Boy is still acting out of his own grudges more than any loyalty shift. But I do think this could be the beginning of the fracture that eventually turns him away from Homelander completely. Now, another scene I really liked in the trailer is Butcher visiting the Legend. That feels like classic late-season boys energy. Dirty intel, old Vought secrets, one more ugly conversation before blood gets spilled. The Legend is one of those characters who always makes the world feel bigger, and if Butcher is going to him for information on Bombsite, then that means there are still pieces of the old Vought puzzle that matter now. And honestly, I would not be shocked if the show gives the Legend a very brutal ending before this is all over. Finally, we have Starlight heading into the Democratic Church of America setup, and this part of the trailer really interests me because it suggests she is taking a major risk on her own. If she is infiltrating that space for information, then she is walking straight into enemy territory at the worst possible moment. And based on the quick shot of Father using his powers, it looks like she gets caught, or at least challenged before she can do whatever she came there to do.
So when I put all of this together, this is my main prediction. Episode 6 is going to bring every major faction into the Bombsite conflict at once. Butcher's side, Homelander's side, Soldier Boy's personal issues, and probably at least one side mission involving Starlight. The result is going to be chaos. And I genuinely think the episode ends with Homelander either obtaining V1 or getting close enough to it that the final 2 episodes become pure panic. And honestly, that is exactly what this final season needs right now. But anyway, that is my breakdown of The Boys Season 5, Episode 6 trailer and my theories on what could happen next. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to like, subscribe, and let me know in the comments. Do you think Homelander walks out of Episode 6 with V1, or does Butcher finally beat him to something for once? I will catch you in the next one.